What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. This is the JR Wisdom channel. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button along with the bell. That way you receive all the notifications for all of my future videos that have content like this. And with that being said, guys, we have a special treat for you today. Special guest going to be joining with me, Amazing Grace, live from Miami, from the MI Yayo, as they call it. She's got we're gonna chop it up and have some interesting stories on dating, her background, her channel, her experiences with dating single mothers, and just dating in Miami, how the scene is, period. So without further ado, because this is very interesting, long time. Shout out to the homie. We can go ahead and bring her on. Grace, what's happening with
you? What's happening? What's going on, everybody?
Greatest day ever, man. How's everything down there in Miami?
I can't complain about the temperature, but it has been raining lately. So I'm comfortable, however. So
you were saying something like a mini hurricane going on?
A monsoon, yeah. Earlier. Monsoon? Yeah. But I don't know if you know how Florida is, but we have like very bipolar weather.
Right.
Like, 1 minute it'd be thunderstorming over here, and you could be on the phone talking to your friend across town, and they don't have a drop of rain.
They don't have a drop.
Yeah, they think you lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't want to come over and just say that. Like, no, it's really raining.
Right.
But yeah, that's how it was for me at work. It was wet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for those obviously, people don't know you, and it's maybe their first time. I know you've been on a couple hangouts before in the past, so I understand you have a channel. I've tuned in to a few of your videos. You don't make as much content as you used to, but tell the people a little bit about your channel, if you don't mind.
My channel originally was never even meant to have the amount of videos that it had,
right?
But I just wanted to give people information about the jewelry that I was purchasing so that they can make a more informed decision, because where I get my jewelry, like, I know the guy personally,
Right.
And I was like, whoa, like, I'm gonna really tell people, like, this dude is the real deal. But I don't have to vouch for him, because like, people that done business with him, they know, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, I just felt like the videos that was out there about the stuff I was doing wasn't really as informative, and just somebody keeping it real and not trying to put on a show, So that's kind of like how it started. Like, I originally never had any interest in participating in YouTube.
Right.
And that's how it started, And I'm actually, since you asked me that, I'm actually thinking about like growing my channel into something else. Just because I realized that, the genre of what we're getting ready to talk about don't really exist on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've been looking at that, and I'm like, I know it's more people, women, that feel like me,
Yeah, I think that's a good move. And if you want to use the same one or go separate, because I think you're right. I think that this is something that hasn't like really been addressed or isn't really talked about. And definitely from obviously most of my viewers are male, but as we're going to share your experience, we're going to see that, from your experience as well, there's really not really a difference, in terms of dating and how it goes or whatever. So
I remember I don't know if you remember, I know you talked to a lot of people, but one time I was telling you, like, I feel like I don't really have a place,
right?
Because men act like sometimes, when they're rude, like, they'll be like, we don't care, get out of the manosphere, woman. Like, you don't really go through what they go through. And I just asked this guy one time a logical question. I was like, do you date women? Yeah. Okay, I date women too. Is there something that do you date alien women?
Yeah.
Like, what is there about the women you date
Right.
that's
Right. Right.
different from, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
because I noticed, but these are the toxic ones, I'm telling you. These are the ones that refuse to accept that there's a woman on the planet that goes through what I go through.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
she doesn't understand. Like,
Right.
she's not a man. So I'm like, bro, I understand you.
Right.
Like, and I I get so much negative feedback sometimes, and I'm
Mm.
just like, okay, I don't know where to be.
Yeah. I
Cause I,
think.
cause
But
I can't rock with the women's channels though either. Like
yeah.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I searched high and low, literally high and low. And one of my best friends was like, Grace, bro, like you probably the one that need to start that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Absolutely. I think it's really. I think what probably the flack that you were getting or the response was based off guys, you know, not really knowing as anything else, but really like how can a woman, know about, or basically from a man's perspective, dating a woman, what it's about. But
Hmm,
who better to know than a woman telling you about
hmm.
another woman and her experiencing the same stuff that you're going through? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Or encountering the same issues, because you may think it's different because a woman's dating another woman that is going to be different, but she's still exhibiting the same behavior, responds as masculine and feminine, yin yang. And I know for a lot of people watching this, it's probably like taboo me talking about this. But like I said, once again, it's
Don't care
interesting.
about that. Right.
It's interesting here. I mean, even, and I'm going to bring this and we're going to get into your background. Even Corey Wayne, which I don't know if you're familiar with Corey Wayne.
Yeah, I'm
Coach
familiar.
Coach Corey Wayne has a ton of female subscribers who are, from the community, who date women who have the same issues, and they're asking him the same questions, and he's
I've read it.
responding.
I've read it under his comments.
Yeah,
For
and he
sure. I
responds
have.
basically, this is, you still have to, conduct yourself, from a masculine standpoint. It's male and female energy. So you still
Yeah.
can't. And I made videos, and I know you laugh at them as well, about studs being the biggest simps. And matter of fact, I'm gonna get into that. I got a new one for you. I got a new
What's
one for
that?
you. I got a new one
What's
for
that?
you, and I'm gonna ask you a question. It just popped up on my timeline. I took a screenshot of it, and I know you're gonna get a kick out of it when I read it to you. It's a question that somebody asked.
Okay.
It's a young stud that asked this question too. That's dating
To
a
you? To you?
no, no, no. They just asked it.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, this is online today. They asked it on like
Okay.
uh one of those websites. They asked one of those blog websites, and it
Yeah.
made it got a lot of views or whatever. But I'm gonna ask you that. But studs being the biggest, and I'm not calling you a stud, but I've addressed it where
No, it's
studs being,
okay. I play that role, so I know what
yeah,
you mean. Go ahead.
studs being the biggest simps, because they're overcompensating or putting themselves like a man that's really like a beta. You know what I'm saying? That's really like, I have to take care of her, I have to do this, and she's more emotional, than anything
You
else. So
you want me to say
go ahead.
it?
Go ahead.
Listen to me. Listen to me. And I don't care. Hold on a second. Hey Ginger, can you pass me the vape that's in that cabinet? The vape, the banana. I'm gonna tell you, right? And I really, I'm gonna tell you the type of person I am before I say this. I don't
Right.
apologize ever about things I say that I truly
Right.
feel how I feel about them.
Right.
So whoever don't like this, I'm not trying to offend you, but it is what it is. I'm real.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you like this. When I first used to listen to Minister Jack,
Right.
and he said that, because he said that in one of his videos, I was like, this man is saying how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you like this. Studs are stupider than the stupidest man.
Damn.
Legit, bro.
Expound real quick. Then we could go into the origin of grace. Expound on that. What do you mean? Just briefly. What do you mean? Sum that up. They're stupider than.
Because of what they are. The studs are the fucking you know how they got the pool man, porter, the cleanup man, that
Yeah.
you the simp guy, right?
Right.
So what's worse than that? The reject of even the simp guy, and then you're still giving hope to the single mom
Mm.
because when she thinks, okay, that's it, it's over for me, hangman. You know what I'm saying? Oh wait, I could turn gay for the pay. Like, bruh. And I listen to me, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you the ace of spade that I got
Yeah.
that men don't have.
Right.
Straight up, which is in my life, if I tell you my story, there was a lot of you know how the saying go, close but no cigar?
It's what
I
now?
just close but no cigar. So what that means is I had a lot of attempts on my life,
Right. Okay.
but they never got me.
Yeah.
Because I don't fall, you know what I'm saying? Like hook, line, and sinker into that shit because I'm still a woman. That's
Right.
my ace of spade. I'm like, girl, I know what you're thinking about. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And I could see, you know what I'm saying? Like the manipulation.
Mm.
I could see it. I don't need them special shades. Like, I forgot the hell that movie called They Live or something like that. I don't know if you ever seen the movie. They
Yeah.
put on special shades
Yeah, I
and they could
remember.
finally see the alien propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need my They Live shades to see the real, truth about you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I understand the nature of a woman.
Mm.
And so when I get onto these manosphere channels and I started telling certain things, they don't want to hear it because they think they know women better than me. And I'm like, okay, bro, you know women better than me.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. You know women
Mm.
better than me.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've had a lot of close calls. I'm
Mm.
I'm actually shocked that my life is not destroyed.
Is not destroyed. Uh, we're gonna get
I'm
into that
shocked.
though, Grace. We're gonna get into that. I know you got some stories here, but let's start back to the origins of Grace. So, um, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like how you started out. Like where are you originally from?
Okay, I was born in Nicaragua,
Mm-hmm.
in Central America.
Right.
I migrated to the United States in 1985,
Mm-hmm.
just like a couple weeks after my fifth birthday.
Right.
And I came here and I thought I was in the future. I thought I time traveled.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you're going from a third world country in the United States, and Michael Jackson was the biggest thing. Like,
Right.
and so I was a little kid, looking at this new land, and I was in complete awe,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up in the American school system. As a little kid, I didn't really speak the language,
Yeah.
so it was hard, for school for me at first, like kindergarten, first grade. But
Yeah.
I tell you like that, by the time I was in fourth grade, I was gifted.
Right.
Yeah, because the only thing that was the wrong was I didn't speak the language. I
Mm.
wasn't stupid, so I went through bullying because I wasn't from here.
Right.
Like American kids tend to do that a lot. That's mean. Stop that. You know, and I grew up feeling different.
Yeah.
Thinking I was the only person in the world like this.
But correct me. So because my ex-wife and I know like a lot of melting pot cities like Miami, New York, Los Angeles, or Seattle. They tend to have these melting pots, but don't they have like the communities or like English as a second language or like within like the schools? Or it wasn't really like that at the time in Miami?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have they had something called ESOL, which
Yeah.
is English for Spanish. There's no for speakers of another language,
Okay.
which is what it stands for. Because
Gotcha.
they know that they get a lot of migrant kids, so they
Right.
would put us they would put us all in the same class,
Right.
and our job was to learn English
Right.
while learning the curriculum.
Right.
So I learned how to speak English. Well, I mean, I was a kid. It was like lightning fast.
Right.
Yeah,
But you said
I picked it up.
you still felt. I mean, I don't know what the population of
Of
immigrants from,
Nicaragua.
yeah, from Nicaragua and Miami, but you say you still felt alone, still like.
Yeah, I always felt myself different. Always. And I realized later on it was because I was gay.
Mm.
You know, like people are stunned, like when they ask me, when did you know you're gay? And when I tell them, like, I think I was like 4, they're
Right.
always like, what?
Right.
But I'm serious. I used to be in Nicaragua, and I would watch the novelas with my mom,
Mm. Right.
and I used to look at the woman in the novela, and I used to be like, wow, she's pretty, but
Yeah.
like in a I'm attracted to her way, not
Okay.
in a I'm just complimenting her way.
Right. Right. Right.
I remember me doing that as far as being there in my own
Right.
country. Hmm.
Wow, at a very young age. So
And
as
my
you
dad,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
Your
my
dad.
dad, my dad told me that my stepdad, he told me that when I was a little girl, that he kind of had an idea that I would be like that because of certain mannerisms. That they would give me dolls and stuff for like my birthday and different, and I would I would
Yeah.
I would take the heads off. I would take their heads off and kick it around like a soccer ball. That's what I would do instead of playing. I would
Yeah.
make a ball. Yeah, he
Right.
was like, "What the hell?"
Right.
Yeah, so
So you were telling me like you were like into sports growing up as well,
mhm,
on into high school, and you said you played sports in high school,
mhm. I was an athlete. Yeah, I
and you,
played. I played basketball, tennis, softball, soccer. Where I
oh,
really
okay,
shined. Where I really shined was tennis.
and tennis. Okay,
Yeah, I was a really good point guard too.
watch out.
I'm
How tall
telling
are
you,
you?
I'm short, 5'3".
5'3". Okay. Yeah, no
Listen, I
worries.
didn't really score a lot of points, but I was pesky on the defense and I facilitated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
So so you played sports in high school, and you said obviously you knew this early on when you were young, but I know we talked about this previously, and you mentioned it. You said you did date guys in high school, and that was
One
just
guy, one
oh,
one guy in high school,
uh-huh.
one guy,
Sorry.
and yeah, and then another guy as like I think I was 18, yeah,
Right.
like back to back, where it was like crazy because they started out just like as a friend,
Right.
and I remember the first guy, it was like all of a sudden he started to be funny, and because I like people with a sense of humor,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to play, so
Right.
so he started to be funny, and like people always ask me, why don't you have a boyfriend? Like why don't you have a boyfriend? Why don't you have a boyfriend? Like things like that, and I gave him a chance, and it just no, like it didn't do anything for me,
It
honestly.
just it just wasn't there. It just
I tried to break up with him repeatedly, and he would always come up with some way to convince me, like, and even now I think back on that, and I'm like, man, why didn't I just say like no, like this is not what I
yeah.
want. So with him it was like a classic case of being with him out of pity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he kept and back then, man, back then when I was 18 years old, I was like really like overly nice.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
really, yeah, like I would be too concerned about like how you
Hurting
feel.
somebody's
I
feelings.
don't, yeah, I
Yeah.
was like very, yeah. So I would like go against, what I really wanted because I could see this person is really hurting and I didn't want to, that was, yeah.
So I mean, but you kind of dated because it's what your parents expected, or it was just something you said, I'll just try it, or
Yeah, man. Cause I used to watch Spanish talk shows with my mom,
yeah,
right? And back then, like in the 90s, like they'll have some gay people on.
yeah,
And it was like, oh snap, there's gay people on.
yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah,
very rarely happened. And I would watch, and she literally would say things like, well, I'm glad none of my kids are gay.
yeah.
So in my mind, sitting on the couch with her, I'd be like, well, okay, I can't tell her.
Going along with it, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. But when I finally told my mom, though, however, she's the best mom ever, man. She never like gave me a cold shoulder about it. She was just at first saying like, "No, you're not." I was like, "Yes, I am." "No, you're not." "Yes, I am." She's like, "No, you're just a tomboy. You're just like, mom." This took me years
right.
to, yeah. I'm like, I'm not just a tomboy. I'm telling you what I like. And once I got that out of the way, it was like, I don't even care anymore.
So
Because I
after this,
knew I didn't want to be with a man. I knew that.
so what made after the first guy when you were initially, what made you want to try just to try dating again with another guy when you were 18? What made you do that if the first one was just like pity or whatever?
Because because I was the first person I ever dated, the
Right,
guy that was in high school, you don't have experience with anybody else.
right.
You're just like, okay, maybe I just, I don't feel anything for that person.
Right.
So I dated this guy. He's very well known in Miami.
Yeah.
Like, without revealing too much of his information, he's like this big dope boy.
Right.
This is the guy that I told you, like, if I was gonna be in love with anybody,
Yeah.
it by all accounts, other than obviously his life of crime, but you know, he looked the part, he acted the part. A lot of girls was like actually chasing this guy, but I wasn't. You know, I was just like that good girl. He always saw me. It would be like, and then I would get into conversations with him, and I would be like, oh, it's refreshing. But the only reason it was refreshing is because I just enjoy male conversation better because of the logical factor that because I'm ruled by logic and reason. And when I talk to girls, I'm just like, I appreciate like the female conversation too,
Right.
but at that age, you have to understand, you're 18 years old. A lot of girls are they're boy crazy. They're too
Right.
obsessed with their hair. They're too obsessed with things that I don't find any importance in. So you know and then he started to like just interest me as a person, but really
Right.
he should have just been my friend, because honestly, no matter how good he looked or how much money he had and everything, it just never materialized into anything else. I mean, this
Mhm.
guy actually told my parents he was going to marry me, and I had to put a stop to that because that wasn't going to happen. I
And
mean,
you
he
guys
even went.
weren't you guys weren't intimate or anything, and he told your parents that,
Yep,
and this is a dope boy.
yep. And my mom couldn't stand him at first, but then she ended up liking him. But then she ended up not liking him again because he couldn't handle, like, when I left him alone. He could. It was crazy what he did.
And y'all were never intimate, and he was this crazy?
Yes. Yes, yes. I mean, he didn't do a lot, but the one or two things that he did were like, boy, you are crazy.
Right.
Literally. I was really quick just to tell you, like, how crazy. I was on the phone in my room at my parents' house. And, I realized, wow, this guy is getting a little too much for me. Like, you're sitting here telling my family you're going to marry me. You're having a talk with my dad about this. You went out and bought a ring. like, hell no, man. Like, you know. So I broke up with him finally, because I knew, I was like, okay, there's no way I'm doing this. Um, and he literally pulled up in front of my house. I was on the phone with a friend girl of mine,
Right.
and he tells me, I clicked over on the other line. Hello? He's like, hey, it's me, whatever. He's like, look out of your window. I'm like, okay. I look out the window, and it's him outside, parked in the car, and he goes, this is what I'm gonna do to you if you leave me. And he shot a fucking gun in the air.
Rejection breeds obsession.
Bruh, bruh. This man used to call me literally like every day for God knows how. I mean,
And you never was intimate with him.
no, I promise. I'm what you call a gold star. I'm gonna tell you what he liked about me, right? Because I know it's like, what? He was never. It was because now I was never intimate with him because I don't have any natural desire for men.
Right.
Okay, like had he been a girl, I would have done it. But he was under the impression that, oh, I'm such a good girl, this and that, which I was.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that had he been a girl, however, like it definitely would have went down, if I had real feelings like that. Because at this age, I still never fell in love yet.
Right.
Yeah. I used to wonder, like, when my friends, they look at love like this thing that I just thought was overrated until it hit me.
So this guy, you never, and obviously I've asked you a few times. You said it, which I
Right.
get it. I'm just asking just to reiterate, because normally that's one of the things that, once a guy is intimate, or and vice versa with the woman when she's intimate with the man, that's what kind of drives them crazy a lot of times. And especially when they get rejected, it's just like, but for a man to not even have been intimate and he's head over heels over you, shooting a gun, say, I'm going to do this and that. And with that being said, let me ask you this. So he never got that energy from you?
That I was a lesbian?
Yeah. He never got that. And I know you said
No.
that you
Because
were
I'm telling you, when I was in high school, mind you, I'm still 18 years old.
right,
Like you could tell I was a tomboy, but you could have easily mistaken me for someone who was gonna grow out of it.
right.
Because I still had like enough of the feminine energy. My hair was long.
Hmm.
Like back then I mean, honestly, like I was a good looking kid.
Yeah.
And he was all enamored over that because like all he ever dated was black women, right?
Yeah.
And I was like the Spanish girl of his dreams, and
Right.
he just enjoyed the whole idea that I could go home. I didn't hang out.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta go home. My mom said I have to go home. Like, had,
Yeah.
had he been a girl child, please, I'd have been sneaking out the house.
Yeah. So that
hmm
that pretty much sealed the deal with that situation at that point.
Yeah, I met him at my one. I had a job back then. I used to work at Wendy's
Okay.
when I was 18 years old, and he came in there, and it was just like from the moment he saw me, and then he came
Mm,
again, and then he came again.
right.
Yeah, yeah, and it seriously took me a while to catch on that he was actually there because of me.
He was actually there what?
Because of me.
Oh, because of you?
Yeah, I thought he was just like a Wendy fan or something. He would order the most stupidest random things, like
Just to see you, just to be able to talk to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
So
I, I, I was confused about his food choices at times. I'm like, what? Yeah,
but just to but what I guess what I was saying was that sealed the deal in terms of you and men at that point. You knew for sure, like at that
yeah,
point, that
because
this is
because this man was attractive. You know, this man made money. I
mm-hmm.
mean, I did not like how he made his money. I was
Right,
very
right,
vocal about that. I
right.
was very vocal about that. And he would always, and now that I think about it, he probably was lying. I don't know. Like, he would always be like, oh, don't worry. It's just temporary. I understand. Like, this is it. I'm just trying to do something right now. And I would be like, even then, I knew. Like, I was smart enough to know. I was like, this is smoke and mirrors. This ain't real. You know what I'm saying? You need to
Right.
figure out what to really do. Because you can't, this is not a life that you should offer someone. And he hated to hear my mouth about it, but I was very vocal. And he smoked cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like
So
my perfect excuse not to kiss him
yeah.
because he knew
So
how much I hated it.
so y'all didn't even kiss either.
No, we did, but
Okay.
I'm saying like when I
Yeah.
didn't feel like it, that was always like my reason.
Because he smoked. Got
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to taste those cigarettes on you. Ill.
right.
Like, yeah, and he would feel so hurt when I would say that. And I'm like, listen, I already told you how I feel about that.
Yeah. If he was he would quit cigarettes for you if he was down to do
Yeah,
all
he
this
said
other
all
crazy,
that. He said,
all this
"Listen, this
crazy
man,
shit.
this man used to follow me. You don't understand. Like I literally got scared of men. Like literally got scared of men. No, I'm not kidding. Like if I was about to give somebody else a chance, this dude put the fear in me
Wow.
because I've never seen possession in this. I'm telling you, and I know it's hard to believe, but I never slept with him.
Yeah, I never heard of somebody being that possessive, especially if they haven't slept with someone. That's some crazy stuff right there.
Well, it happened to one of my cousins too. Like, and I have a cousin who's like super, super pretty, like
Right.
super pretty, and she was a good girl. Like we all pretty much were, in my
Mhm.
family, like the way we were raised, and it happened to her too.
Mm.
It's just like I guess they feel like you're just so different from what they were dating, And
Right.
they feel like they about to get that wifey material they've been looking for.
Yeah.
Because I saw the women that he was dating before, and even at my 18 years of age, there was no comparison.
Nah. Yeah.
None. I promise you that. I say that very humbly.
So
So,
after this, you go off to college, or what's your
well,
next move? Just
this
asking.
is where
I
this is
don't
where
care
my
either way.
life.
I'm
No,
just
I
asking.
know this is where my life took a curve ball,
Hmm.
because I went off to college, and I came back from college because I was lovesick with a girl.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first time I derailed my life without realizing, the damage that I was doing. And I did it all in the name of love.
You went to college out of town, or you were still in
Yeah,
Miami? Okay.
I went out of town. Yeah,
Okay.
I was in Kentucky. And
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So I came back, bro, because I was in love.
So you got your first experience was in Kentucky in college, and you basically fell in love and was like you just couldn't stand to see her anymore because y'all broke up, or and that's
No. She was in Miami. I met her right before I
oh
went to school.
okay, my
No,
bad, my bad. Sorry.
no. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I left when I shouldn't have left.
Oh, okay.
Like, I should just stay gone.
Got you.
And she was here, fell madly in love with this girl,
Yeah.
and came back, just to be disappointed. And the facts surrounding her and that relationship is so embarrassing. But I don't mind telling you because it's my real testimony.
Your first one. Yeah, it's your first
Yeah,
yeah.
bro, she was a stripper at the strip club.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's crazy is, right, like, she never been with a girl before.
Hmm.
And so she used to date this guy at the strip club that was the manager.
Right.
So I was just starting to come in there. They used to have this night at down here in Miami at this club called the Rolex,
Okay.
which I think now is just the Lex, or I don't know. It's been so many years since I
Yeah.
stepped foot in there. But so I used to go to this thing called Monday Night Boxing at the
Okay.
Rolex, where they would put the boxing gloves on the strippers and they fight each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then some people would perform, rappers, whatever. And back then, I was like really popular with the ladies too, you know. And I seen this girl, man, and I was next to her in the bathroom, washing my hands at the sink. We had a little stupid conversation, and then due to that conversation, I found out later on that night that she was actually watching me the whole night, right? And she couldn't understand like why she felt so attracted to me.
Right.
But the crazy part about it is that her excuse for walking over to me was because the guy she was fucking with in the strip club was actually into me too. And he was trying to recruit her to get me for them. So listen, his plan failed, right?
Yeah.
And he realized that we were spending too much time together, right? Like, he would call her on the phone sometimes and be like, "What are you in, Graceland?" That's what
Yeah.
he used to call me, in
Yeah.
Graceland. So, and one day he just put two and two together, and he kind of he got pushed out.
Right.
Like, yeah. And then I don't know what it was about me, honestly. Like, you would have to ask her. I don't know. But she was into me and we dated. I fell in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
I went away. I came back. Stupid idea, but it happened. And it was my first girlfriend I ever had is something that I want every lesbian out there to know. Do not freaking date a girl or take her seriously that isn't really gay. I committed the cardinal sin in the lesbian fucking world to date a girl, and I fell in love with her. And I know you like guys. Like, it's so stupid, but it happened
Yeah.
to me. It's so ridiculous, bro. Yeah, like, stupid, man. See, so this type of girl is only a matter of time, right? Before she actually wants to revert back to what she really wants,
Right.
right? I was just this Like, I guess I sparked some interest in her. And I can
Curiosity.
understand why.
Yeah.
I can understand why. Believe it or not, I can understand why. Because I know I kind of remind you of a boy, kind of remind you of a girl. I don't know. So I understood why, you know, but obviously, like, she met this dude one day, and you know, he had a lot of money. And here's my first single mother experience, because she was a single mom.
Oh, she was a single mom too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why it's important to bring her up,
Okay.
you know. And I
All right.
can't believe now, being my age, that I took her seriously. I seriously feel like my life was saved without me knowing.
Of course.
Because in my mind, I thought me and her would never break up. I was like, I'm never breaking up with her. Yeah, I love her. Man, look here, man. I'm happy that shit didn't work out. You
What
know,
was the age? What was your age? Both of y'all age back then, and how many kids did she have?
I was 19, she was 23, and she had
Okay.
2 kids.
She had 2 kids, 23. Okay.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. And she had a kid by a drug dealer, and she had a kid by some normal, regular guy.
Yeah.
Some Joe Schmo. The first one is some Joe Schmo. She told me she got pregnant the first time she ever had sex.
Right.
And, you know, she had her daughter, which her daughter is a very beautiful little person.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, then the drug dealer came. Let me tell you, she was most definitely the type of girl that dated people with money.
Mm.
So that became a problem.
Right.
You know, I think after a while, she realized that I really couldn't correspond for her the way she needed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember one day my dad caught me crying, which is so embarrassing, like when she broke up with me.
Yeah.
And my dad gave me the wisdom, and he was like, look, every relationship that you're in, he said, is supposed to fail.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him like, what? He's like, yeah, every relationship, until you meet somebody that you're supposed to be with for the rest of your life, they're all gonna fail.
Mm.
Don't think that people get with their first person, he told me, and it's like 100% success rate.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna go 0 for 11, you know, or something like that before you hit a winner. You
Mm.
know, and even then, you know, marriages are so complicated that that's not
Yeah.
even, you know, that's not that's not tried and true or set in stone. It could
Mm.
still fail, you know. And he told me, he was like, listen, I know you don't understand right now. He's like, but in a couple of years, you're gonna see how this is really all a blessing. Like, he's like, I don't see you with that girl.
Right.
My
Right.
my
Right.
my parents found out that she was a dancer. Man, they bust down the door of my room to come talk to me about the debauchery that I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, now leave me alone. I want my freedom. Like, yeah, but I'm glad that didn't work out. And honestly, to this day, I never loved anybody the way I loved her.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
had two possibles after that.
two possibles. So that first, what Drake, well, not Drake. Drake didn't say that. Somebody else said it. That first love is the deepest, or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
what were some things that you encountered? Like, were you involved in the kids? Like, I don't know how long the relationship went on for, but were you like really involved in the kids' lives? Or
Yeah.
did she need, was she asking you to do certain things, or what was, how did that work?
It wasn't so much asking, but so much expecting.
Expecting. Okay.
Like clues,
Yeah.
dropping hints.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and that's another thing my dad told me. He said, listen, the best user is the one that never asks you for anything.
There you go.
Because they manipulate your mind into your dumbass offering it. Because that's what they want. They want to be able to say later, well, I didn't ask you, you
Yeah.
know. But your damn sure didn't stop me when I was doing it.
Exactly.
Because this is what you wanted. You just wanted it to be my bright idea. You know, you just want to manipulate my mind into I guess following your plan of offering it to you.
Right. Right. Right.
They know what the hell they're doing.
Mm.
But see, I was young back then. Like, I had a rude awakening.
Yeah. You got to think she's a hella experienced. She's got 2 kids. She's a dancer, and those are the most experienced of, you know,
She caught me with my
Technically,
nose wide open.
yeah, sex work. She's a sex worker, you know, not just, you
Yeah.
know, so you constantly dealing with guys and getting money out of them. She's a professional at doing that, at getting guys to spend money. So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But you know what's crazy? I could tell she really did like me, but also I could also tell that she really didn't see a future either because just of like where I was in my life.
Right.
And I don't apologize for that. I mean, heck, I dated her from 19 to 21 and a half.
Mm.
What the hell you know what I'm saying? I was doing what I was supposed to be doing at my age. So, you know, but of course I saw myself back then as a loser. I can't do anything for you like that. And I'm sitting here thinking I lost her to some fucking guy or whatever, but no, man, that's totally my mindset has completely shifted from that.
Got a question for you right here, Grace. You see it?
Uh would Grace recommend staying away from single moms too? Hell yes. Do not. Do not.
Yo.
There's absolutely no benefit at all, period whatsoever. Like, and not for nothing, but all you have to do is ignore your emotions, allow your logic to reign supreme, and really ask yourself, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Like, if I'm a woman and I have those funny feelings that I don't belong here, I'll never forget. I was dating a single mom, and I literally had to ask myself. I was like, "Yo, I'm the only person in this house right now that's not related by blood.
Right.
I'm the outsider."
Right.
And they have their little chit chats with each other that you have
Yeah.
nothing to do with. You know, they got this little camaraderie and loyalty that you ain't got nothing to do with. And I'm telling you, I used to think that was so disrespectful, but she never saw it my way, and I was like, all right, you know, you sitting up here having conversations with your little daughter, you know, about things that you shouldn't be talking
Right.
about, like that I don't know about. Like what? And she didn't see anything wrong with that. But I would not recommend it because I said this before on your channel on the comments. It truly is a black hole of no return.
Mm.
Black hole of no return. It's you feel like you're always falling down. You're always falling. It never stops. You're always falling. You're on a hamster wheel. Literally. Like there's no good that can come out of it for you. I mean, you have to understand, like when you can exponentially improve the life of another human being and you see that there's no sacrifice coming back to you
Facts.
because they feel like, well, you're supposed to do this.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Somebody told me that. Excuse me? What do you mean
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do this?
To be with
Like,
me, you're supposed to do that. Yeah. If you're gonna be with
yeah.
me, you're supposed to do that.
Yo, I had a girl tell me one time, I don't date nobody who won't do for me and my kids. You know, and I was like, you should have told me that a long time ago.
They're not
You
gonna tell
know,
you that. They're gonna tell you that when they get upset and frustrated. They ain't gonna tell you that shit
yeah.
up front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and I told her, I was like, I actually asked her, I was like, what's better about you than a childless woman? And she went on to go on this rant how childless women, you know, can still fuck you over, this and that. And of course, I waited for her to finish her long-winded, and I still said, yeah, but they don't have kids. I mean, that's true, but you have kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you go into a relationship. Who the hell goes into a relationship seriously expecting like no issues whatsoever?
Yeah.
That's naive. That's naive. I know that I can date somebody right now. I can date you, and one day we'll bump heads.
Facts.
And it is what it is because I wasn't raised with you. You wasn't raised with me. You're mixing two people that were born. You know, you was raised in a different family. You do things differently. You might not have exactly the same values I have. You know, see things differently. This is gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen whether you have kids or not. Only when you add the complication of children, now it's where you start feeling like a moron. You know,
Right.
you start feeling like, what I'm giving you money for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just for
Seriously.
existing. Just for existing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're gracing me with your company,
Yeah.
right? Like being with me isn't as rewarding as being with you.
Exactly. And
Cause
that's
I'm just a peasant, right?
yeah.
I'm telling you, the entitlement or the fact that they actually feel that they're better than you.
Yeah.
And I even told this one girl, I was like, listen, she was stupid enough to ask me actually. oh yeah, if you dated men, she goes to me, if you dated men and we both, like was interested in the same man, like who do you think they would go for? Like, and I didn't want to hurt her feelings, and I go, oh, I think and oh yeah, she was surprised I even said that. Oh, why you? I was like, because you're more feminine. You're more, you could probably give them like what they want as far as like I really wanted to say me,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
despite my attractions that I have.
Yeah.
Seriously. Seriously. Because number one, I ain't never been with no man. You know what I'm saying? I can offer you the V card, which is like desirable. I know that. Number two, I don't have any children from fucking 2, 3 different guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, but all these things back then, I didn't say because I was too worried about hurting feelings and I'm the bad guy and that's a fucking charity case. Why you look at me like that? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it was hard to get across to them their overvaluation of themselves
Right.
without sounding like a butthole while you're saying it and remaining honest about how you feel about it.
Right.
Because I never saw the value, honestly. I never saw the value. I always saw the loss. The loss. Like if you did a spreadsheet, it Grace lose, 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 lose. Like the other girl win, 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 win. And it's like, nah, bro. You're not about to get me like a fucking cent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cursing.
So how many would you say that single moms that you've dated throughout your dating history? Like you counting over?
4.
Okay, I thought you was about to say something like 12 or something like that. I was about to say,
No, I
damn.
was counting. I was
Yeah.
counting, but it didn't take long to get to 4.
4. But you you
Yeah.
you 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 learned. I mean, not learned, but you noticed on the first one, kind of like,
No, on the
yeah,
first one, I was completely naive. I told you, I
yeah.
thought I was a loser because I couldn't do for her
Mm-hmm.
what I would have wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I seriously, I thought I was the one that just, couldn't do shit.
Right, right, right. And so the other three, were they pretty much like had similarities?
All right, so the first stripper that I dated, because I have to say this, like, yeah, I dated 2 strippers. Uh, so back then I used to get really got by beautiful women. You know, I see a beautiful woman, and seriously, just like a man, I would be like, you know, and the two girls that danced, they were stunning.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not lying. They were stunning. And one of them, the first one, was not your quintessential stripper. Like when she was home, she was home.
She was
Like you would
home.
never, yeah, you would never know she even does that for a living. Like she never would go. Like let me tell you, this girl was proud to take me around her family. We would hang out at her sister's house all the time. She couldn't wait to introduce me. You know what I'm saying? Which gave me a good feeling. Her mom knew me, like her other family members knew me. I was always at the gatherings. I mean, they still associate me with her to this day. Like if they see me out on the street, they'll be like, "Girl, you don't age a bit." Like, I remember when you used to be with Buki, like, and they still, even all these many years later. And I'm like,
Right.
wow, it's crazy. They remember me this whole time. So she was like, I honestly don't know why she got into that. And I told her, and how I knew she didn't really want to change her life and she wanted to just date a guy that would just do everything for her is because I was super involved in her job search.
Oh,
I
really?
wanted her, yes, I would get involved in that until one day I realized, okay, she don't really want to do this shit.
Right.
What she wants is some guy with money come come do everything for her. Yeah, she don't got the drive I thought she did.
Right.
She's just all talk, because I actually one time took her personally to go get a job with this lady that I knew that worked for the police communications. Back then, to be a 911 operator, you start off like $45,000 a year. This was
Mm.
back in the year 2000. And I'm like, I spoke up for her everything, like, and the lady was like, you know what, I never seen somebody so invested in somebody else's success. I said, you know what, bring her in, let me man, she messed that whole opportunity up. I knew for a fact. I was like, yeah, she ain't trying to do nothing like this for herself.
Mm.
I
And
knew it.
she was just used to that, and she liked that easy money at the strip club.
That's right, bro. And she used to spend it like a water faucet just running.
Right.
And I would tell her that. I'd be like, because you're making $400-$500, like sometimes 1,000, like whatever. I'm like, you gotta be a little smart. Like I could tell that I was a lot more logical than she was. A lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, okay, am I not understanding her needs? Or, you know, she would fuck some money up, boy, let me tell you. She was very much into going out. She was very popular. She still is. Like, you know, she's all the celebrities here that knew her back then, you know, all the parties, everything like that. She was there. She was going out. She was being seen. She was, you know, she used to dress really nice, and a lot of guys used to want to be with her, you know.
So were
So
you did she require you to spend a lot of money on her, or it wasn't really like a big thing as far
what
as you
money could I
spending?
spend? I was a kid. She mostly, I think, liked me for my looks back then. Like I was just a different person to her. I was like, I don't know. I told you something about me captivated her.
This isn't the first one though, right? I thought you were talking about another one.
No, this is still the first one. The other one
Oh,
was a total. The other one, the other stripper I dated, was a total example of why you should never date a stripper.
and what was
So
the
I had between them.
like the second one? Yeah, what was the different? Like, how was it different?
Well, the second one was slightly better looking,
But this wasn't the
and
one that stayed at home. This
nah,
was okay.
nah. This one here. Listen, this one here was a total user. Okay, like it got to a point where like she wasn't even good at hiding it. You know what I mean? Certain things just didn't make sense to me about her.
When you
I
say
remember one.
user, what do you mean?
Okay, so when I met her, I used to spend money on her at the club. I
Hmm.
didn't think it was gonna be nothing else. And then, you know, she liked me as well too. She saw me from across the club. Again, you know, like she liked the way I look, whatever. And she was bubbly, she was fun. I had just got out of this crazy ass relationship I was in with a police officer. That motherfucker was crazy.
Man.
That's actually the craziest person I've ever been with. Actually, she tops the guy I told you about. Yes, and so you know, so she was different in the whole fun area. So I was having fun with her, hanging out. I ended up catching feelings for her. I was never in love with her, but you know, I smelled all the way through everything she was trying to do. You
Right.
know, and I'm like, bro, she lied to me and told me, oh yeah, you know, I always preferred women, but this and that. You gotta tell me that to kick it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I don't know who you talking to here, but you know, by then I had grew a little bit of sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had to just give her the boot eventually. Honestly, like she deserved it, man. She gotta get the heck. She was disrespectful and everything.
But like
Mm.
you were in the same financial situation though, as far as like she didn't
No,
expect.
I was a lot better.
But was she was still she was expecting you to spend on her though.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, got you.
Absolutely. This girl, listen to me. This girl to this day, right, will call me every blue moon just to check on me. I can tell that she's guilt ridden because of her intentions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like even
Hmm.
when we broke up, right? And back then I used to work nights. Even when we broke up, like a year later, she would randomly text me at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just a small sentence, I'm sorry. I mean, it was to the point that I had to call her one day and be like, look, stop. I,
Mm.
you told me you're sorry like a million times already. It's fine. It's fine. You know, if you didn't feel anything for me, you know what I'm saying? Like legitimately, naturally, it is what it is. I said, I'm just glad I caught it when I did. I mean, it's just your behavior told on you, you
Right.
know? Because I look at what you're doing. I don't listen to what you're saying, you
Hmm.
know? Because what you're saying don't match what you're doing. Something's going on.
Right.
Yeah, straight user, man. She even ended up dating some R&B artist's best friend, and she would call me and tell me about it. And she caught the guy cheating on her, and of course, that tickled me. I was like, yeah, okay, because I know what she's about, and I'm pretty sure that men could see that too. But because she's a very pretty woman, I'll show you a picture of her on our
Right,
own time.
right, right, right.
She's very attractive, so I could see like any guy, like wanting to talk to her. But it's like once you get, she wasn't very smart either. She wasn't very smart.
Mm.
She was like dumb as a box of rocks. Not kidding, bro. I wish I was kidding, bro. I'm not
Yeah,
kidding, bro. Yeah. So, she was another single mom.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she had a daughter. And that's actually the kid that I was involved with the most. Like because her mom, listen, this is a person that should have never been a mom.
Mm.
Because I ended up doing things for that kid out of compassion. Not because I felt responsible. I did it out of compassion because I saw that her mom wasn't doing right by her.
Mm.
You know, I was like, you need to take, your daughter to the doctor. You need to go do
Right.
this. You got to put her in school because she was behind in her speech. You know, like other kids was already forming sentences and all kinds of, and she want to get her daughter one Christmas a computer, like a real computer that me and you would buy. And I'm like, she doesn't need that. She needs those little toys where you pull the string and
Yeah,
that's a rooster.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
color
yeah.
green. I was like, your daughter doesn't know the basic things. You think she's gonna operate this computer? Like a lot of adults can't operate this computer.
Right.
Like you crazy. You just want her to have luxury things. Like there's no rhyme or reason for this. So we got into a huge fight about that. And I was like, you need to take her, you need to put her in school. Like she has to be around other kids so she can start socializing with other toddlers, you know, and get that preschool education so she can understand the basic colors, numbers, animals, just learning how to socialize so she won't be awkward, you know. Like
Mm.
I was telling, and she's like, why don't you do it? And I was like, you're her mom. I was like, I'm not supposed to care more than you.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That is
of course
sad.
I did it. you know. At one point, I even offered her. I was like, look, why don't you leave your daughter with me and my mom, and we'll make sure she gets to school every day. Because you're always
Oh, you were
late.
serious, serious. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm telling you, bro, it wasn't even on no simp shit. It was just like actual sympathy for this kid. Like you're
Yeah,
falling behind.
yeah,
And I try to have conversations with her, and I could tell, like, no, yo, you should be speaking a lot more words than what you're speaking.
yeah. Should be a
She'd be
lot
like,
further on.
3.5 years old and still going, yum, 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 yum. Like,
Mm,
she's not learning. You know what I'm saying? So that was one person that I was like, oh my goodness. But then I realized that her mom shouldn't have been a mom. When I
mm.
met her mom should not have been a mom. So
Dang.
I saw the pattern. I was like, man, grandma is fucked up. She used to work at the club with her mom.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Was she stripping too?
No, she was like the bartender, and then sometimes she'll play like the manager and all that. But
And why?
my thing is, why don't you have a problem with your daughter being here?
That's like
Like,
porn stars whose daughters going to be porn stars, and stuff
yeah,
like that. And there's what is it? There's pornos where the mother is assisting the daughter on an act. What anyway. I
no,
got a
and listen,
question. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
Got a question for you real quick, and I know this is kind of like the caveat on what you were saying here. So it's right here. How do you make the distinction between a woman who is genuinely gay versus a woman that has disavowed herself of all men? Meaning, she started out liking men, but now she hates them and is now gay.
Well, the number one giveaway is multiple children. You don't got the pipe before, and you don't let somebody shoot at the club.
Right, right, right,
In a way you can, explain that.
right, right, right.
That's the first one. So that used to always have me thinking if she's really gay, because I learned that a lot of women will date a lesbian because like lesbians have like more compassion in their heart towards that bullshit, the single mom bullshit.
Right, right, right,
Oh, girl, it's okay. He didn't appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know, you still have value. I'll be there for you. And
right.
they play like this fucking pseudo dad and shit with their little pseudo family, this fake ass fucking shit. That's another thing about me. Bro, I do not believe in lesbian having kids and shit like that. I don't. Because I feel like, why are you removing a dad on purpose?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. You
Right,
know, I'm not about to remove a father on purpose.
right, right,
No,
right, right.
no, you tripping. And I told one of my friends, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, honestly, without your feelings involved, tell me what's the difference between you and your girlfriend, your wife, going to get a sperm donor and she got inseminated so you and her could feel like a family, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between that and dating a single mom? Because that's still another man's kid.
Right,
Only you mind screwed yourself, not to say the F word. You're mind effing yourself into thinking that this is actually your kid.
right.
It's not. Stop it. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And that's just the way I feel. I feel like it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I will not be doing that. I will not be doing that. I will not be going anywhere with my girlfriend, or if I even get married, like and going to go make a little family with some kid that really belongs to some random guy. Like, it's so dumb. I seriously, as much as I advise people not to date single moms, it's kind of like I'd rather do that. I'd rather date a single mom than do what lesbians tend to do sometimes.
Right.
You know, because one kid came here naturally, you know, through their mother and father, and the other kid is like, oops, like he just popped up and like from birth, he has
Yeah.
two moms, you know,
Too long.
like yeah, like where's the man? You know what I mean? You can't just take a kid's father away like that, just like on absolute purpose. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And those are my values, and I'm sticking to them. I don't care. That's really stupid. That's really dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I reserve my comments on that, on those things, but
I ain't
for you to,
scared.
yeah,
I
for
ain't
you to say
scared.
that,
Believe me. I'm not scared. Trust me. I don't care who don't like it.
yeah, for you to
Hmm.
comment on that, I mean, yeah, I hear you. It's very logical what you're saying, you know.
No, seriously. There's no difference. You might as well date a single mom
Yeah,
because at least now she getting child support.
facts, facts. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Somebody says, I
ah.
don't know if she meant Nicaragua or you meant Nicaragua. I don't know. Elizabeth Calero, she put that on there. I don't know.
No, Nicaragua.
Well, you see where she put it right here on the
Mm.
thing. How she spelled it.
She meant to say Nicaragua.
I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh
don't know.
well, if she looks like she has a very Hispanic last name, right? Calero.
Yeah,
So hi, hello. If you're my fellow Nica, what's up,
yeah.
Nakatamal? What's going on?
Dropping
Yeah.
gems. So let's segue into this. So what is, from your experience, you know, being a Miami native, what's the dating scene like in general in Miami for people who may not know and want to visit Miami, and you know, or just
Horrible.
go down there just for a native, for a local? What is it
Horrible.
like? What do you mean by
Horrible.
that? Expound, please.
The usury, the manipulation, the bad bitch culture, the princess culture.
Mm,
You know, want to be in that Miami vibe, beautiful. I want a handbag. I want to be seen. You know, it's like you got to spend $1,000 every time you go on a date with
oh wow.
these sick-minded women. You know,
Hmm.
a good woman, no, you know, she's happy to spend time with you. But like it really is like it's bad. You know what I mean? I don't think it's any different, honestly. I just think here, because you have a melting pot and you have so many cultures mixing,
Right.
you just get like a little different mindsets of the different cultures and how they see things. Because every once in a blue moon, I'll run into somebody that I'm like, oh wow, they have good morals, you know? Because I'm very big on morals. Like
Right.
I operate from that. Like I operate. Like I start. My personality starts with respect, right? That's where I start. And then from there, my morals branch out. That's where I start. Like, even with my friendships with men, that's where I start. I have no problem respecting men. I love men. I wish I was attracted to men, but I'm not.
Yo, you be saying some shit. You talking about, I wish I was attracted to men.
What? I'd be married right now.
Oh man.
I'd be married, and I'd be treating that guy like a freaking king. You hear me?
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder, seriously, my own sexuality is like a freaking curse, because I know if I was into men, I'd be fine. I'd be okay right now. I'd be chilling, because the type of morals I have, I know that I would have had a lot of suitors if I was into men.
Right.
And I would have picked one, and I'd have been happy because I'm loyal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I would have been that chick. You know what I'm saying? Like how guys, Nawalt, like,
yeah.
Come on, man. Like, I know guys.
For those of you who don't know, tell them what a Nawalt is.
Not all women are like that.
Not all women are like that.
Yeah, definitely. That would have been me. Definitely. Because I know how I was raised. I was raised by a very humble mother. A woman who's happy with simple things.
Right.
And she taught me the same way.
Right.
She taught me how to respect, how to speak to people, how to deal with people. Very caring, very compassionate. My mom is still to this day the nicest person I know. I've never seen her mistreat anybody in her life. And to be honest with you, I don't think there's a person alive that could ever tell you I ever mistreated them. Seriously, I don't think so. They'd be lying if they told you that. So you know what I'm saying? This is what I got. You know what I'm saying? This is what I got. Like, I grew up in a house where there was never any arguing. So if you got a loud mouth and you're just like this combative, argumentative, like, I realized that, I never knew that some people just have personalities that have a disposition for disagreeableness.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Absolutely.
And it annoys the mess out of me. It annoys me, because when you ask them why they disagreeing with you and there's no objective, so you're just doing it because you like to hear yourself talk.
Yeah.
You just want to hear yourself go against what I'm saying, And then these same women like argue later and tell you, I'm a great listener. I'm supportive. No, you're not. You enjoy disagreeing when there's no reason. Like, I can understand if there was a reason. No, Grace, the hurricane happened on the 20th. No, Grace, it happened on the 18th. Okay, we go fact check. Okay, you're right, babe. It happened on the 18th.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no reason. There's just like, I want to disagree with you because I just don't like the fact that you're schooling me right now on anything you might possibly know.
Right.
It's almost like it burns a woman's soul sometimes for a man to know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
And actually telling her about it,
Yeah.
And that's a huge pride issue with women, literally. I had a girl tell me one time, literally tell me one time that I was talking to her about respect, right? Like, you're gonna have to respect me, like, period. Like, this chick actually told me, I'm not bowing down to you. That's how she saw respect.
Yeah.
As bowing down. I'm like,
bowing down, slavery. Yeah.
Right. I'm like, no, ma'am. I was like, do you know what having regard for another person is? Like, do you know? Never mind. That was the beginning of the end with that one. Because she didn't understand how that needed to be instilled in order. Yeah. Because again, I'm telling you, I'm not like most women. Like, for me, respect is like love. I prefer it a million times over the fickle ass love that other women call love.
I think that's how a lot of us men, how we equate that to also, most definitely the way you explain that, in terms of respect and honor, and all the countless videos I've made about what men are looking for in a woman. You know what I mean? It's just being agreeable doesn't mean that you're a slave or you're bowing down,
or you don't have your own mind.
Yeah.
They will accuse you. Of trying to control them.
Right.
of trying to indoctrinate them whatever it is that you think is right. Even though, listen, you could have an argument with a woman, and in mid argument, right, she could realize that she's wrong. It doesn't matter. She'll keep arguing, just because she's never going to admit to, the very logical, rational things that you're saying to her. She's not. You try to hold a woman accountable, that's when her devil horns and claws are going to come out. How dare you? This is when you're really going to see an irrational mind at its best. They start to say things that have nothing to do with the subject. They will even go as far as crying, because what you're saying makes too much sense. I'm losing this argument that I started, so engage crying right now. This is a trick that women do constantly. It's a total manipulation. This is a gaslighting trick that they do.
Yep.
And it works for them, because one of the things that a lot of manly men don't like to see is a woman crying when he feels like he was responsible for it too.
Right.
Like, it is the biggest BS. I'm not kidding. And I'm just like, there's so many crocodile criers out there. All it is look, man, they losing the battle of the brain game that you're playing with her at the time, and she thinks that she knows what she's talking about. And you actually come out with the facts, right? Because women like to do a lot of, but I feel, and you're like, but I know this and I know that, like that I know that I know. It's not my opinion. Like, these are actual facts, like, you forget it. Forget it. It's not happening. You're not holding her accountable ever. It's not happening.
You're speaking facts. So back up to what you were saying. So what I gather from you as a Miami native is Miami across the board, not everyone, but across the board, is, in terms of the dating scene, is very superficial. And
I mean, listen, out of every, that needle in the haystack, you know what I'm saying? You can find a gem here and there.
Right.
But for the most part, you'll notice, I'm going to tell you something like this, right? Guys have a huge way to find out if a girl's really into them, right? Because men are so visual, and they tend to be superficial themselves. Like, they'll pick a girl a lot of times because of her beauty, her body parts look voluptuous. Those things that make a man go ooh. And now his imagination is going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me tell you something. If a woman doesn't ask you anything about yourself, she's not curious about who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't care what your favorite color is, what your second favorite color is, in case your first favorite color isn't available. Like, these detailed things about you. I'm telling you right now, she does not care. She doesn't care. She doesn't go into, like, the chambers of your mind. She's definitely not trying to dig into your personality, but she knows all the superficial things about you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a clown. You make her laugh. Okay, guys like to do that because they know it works. They know it creates attraction. And instead of really vetting her and seeing, like, I don't think this woman knows who the person is that lives inside my body.
Right.
I'm just carrying around my real self. My real self is in here somewhere. This is just my physical body that you're looking at. And then also, obviously, the capabilities of a man as far as, like, providing. A lot of y'all are like walking ATMs to women, whether you want to admit it or not. It's the truth of the matter. I mean, it just is. It's about what you can do. Like, a very high percentage of the time, it's about what you can do. It's not about you.
Right.
I mean, even my grandma told me this when I was younger. Oh, sadly, a man will never know, whether a woman really loves him until he loses everything. And then if she still want to be there, wow. But a lot of times I notice with my guy friends, they think that because a woman is sleeping with them and she's living in your house and you feeling like a man because you're paying all the bills, and that's your woman, that's your lockdown vagina.
Yeah.
Like, they seriously sometimes think that woman loves them. And I'm like, nah, bro. And a lot of times I could see it. I could see it, but they don't see it. This is the ace of spade that I'm telling you that I have, because I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The attempts have been made on my life, but they've never been successful. You know what's the number one complaint about women that they've had with me over the years?
What's that?
That especially if they're a single mom, not with the ones that aren't moms, but the ones that are single moms, that I don't comply.
You're
So
not
to
a
say,
yeah.
yeah, to say that I don't comply, you're insinuating that I'm in some kind of defiance, right?
Right.
So I have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a robot. I'm not your little thing here to use. And I already know what you're after. I already know what you're after. My mom told me, listen to me. I was raised by a stepdad. Okay. My mom told me, don't you ever let a woman tell you that it's not about her and her kids. She was like, it's always about her and her kids. Always. If you're dating a single mom, my mother told me this.
Mm.
Yeah, when she was tired of seeing me just, she sat me down. It was like, baby, I see you with somebody that don't have no kids. I don't
Mm.
see you with somebody who, she's like, and my mom was the one that told me, can't no woman pretend to love somebody better than a single mom. She will do it all for her kids. You hear me? You are collateral damage, like completely and totally. Like totally. It doesn't matter. She thinks she's doing something honorable because in her mind, I ain't doing this for my kids. I'm sacrificing. Yeah, but you're a robber of life. You're robbing some guy's life.
Mm.
You're pretending this whole shenanigan because you need him to do what you need him to do, with no regard whatsoever to the fact that he can actually be happy with somebody else. So you have him under this illusion that, he's got this real thing with you that's actually a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I have a problem with women that do that. I have a big problem with
I
that.
mean, it's a large. I mean, but outside of women, some women in general, there's a large, very high percentage of single mothers that do that, or that just pretend and just to get along, just to not get along, but just to be able to not have to work, or they'll get with somebody that they're not even remotely attracted to, just someone to take care of these kids. I need someone to help me. I need someone to take care of these kids. I don't care what he looks like. He could be, overweight, as long as he's got some type of money
A,
coming
a
in.
steady paycheck.
Yeah, steady paycheck.
Hmm.
But let
But
me before you get into that, I know you probably already answered this question right here that's on the screen. I think you kind of touched on it, but Alan Webb asked, being a woman that has a logical mindset, what are your feelings on what men have to go up against when it comes to women? I think you probably covered a lot of those things,
I,
but I don't know if you got anything to add
yeah,
to that.
but to answer it shortly, just because they probably just tuned in or something. Like,
No,
honestly, the
it's been there
biggest
a while.
thing.
It's
Oh,
been there.
okay.
Yeah, it's been there a while. Go ahead.
The first thing is, if I were a man, or if I could put what's in my mind, because I'm a woman, if I could put what's in my mind in your mind, like I could just program your mind really fast to understand women, like really
Yeah.
fast, and you just all of a sudden gain all this knowledge in like 2.3 seconds. When you're dealing with women, you have to assume immediately that you're behind the eight ball. You have to assume, because women inherently play games, because the objective is, the classic power struggle. They need to have you completely and utterly manipulated in order for you to do their bidding. Because think
Mm,
about it, right? We're the fair sex. We are the fair sex.
mm,
What is it that we could do against you? Really, nothing. Nothing that you don't allow.
right.
And you allow it because men have a kryptonite about them. And that's their sexual urges and their drive to conquer women and stick their toys into holes You know what I mean? Like
Dang.
this is the kryptonite. This is what has saved me from not being manipulated. I know.
That's another one of your spades right there too, right?
That's the little joker.
Yeah, and the little joker, excuse me. Yeah, the little joker.
Yeah.
You
That's the
know.
one up. That's the one up that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't have testosterone running through my body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to smash this one, smash that one, smash. I turn it down. Whereas a man, I don't know, like he has to think long and hard about turning it down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing about women. You know what I'm saying? We can have sex anytime we want to.
Facts.
Like I will literally take you up on a challenge. I will go out there on the street and find a guy I know that I could take home tonight if I wanted to.
I'm not dispute. I don't think any man would dispute that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's your kryptonite. And what's funny to me about red pill guys or like these MGTOW guys is that I see this in the comments constantly. They're always like, "What do women have? You only have one thing. You only have vagina. You only have sex." And I'm like, "Well, why would she use anything else when that works?" I just said earlier today to a friend of mine, "Do you think Lex Luthor in Superman? Do you think Lex Luthor felt like he needed anything other than the actual kryptonite? If that's what, why would he go gather meaningless little pebbles?
Yeah.
Why would he go get a boulder and a bazooka as backup weapons to use against Superman when the kryptonite works?
Right.
You say that she has one weapon, but you only have one thing. That's all you need to do, one thing. Yeah, but you keep falling for it. So my thing is, bro, how dumb are you that the weapon that you know is there, that you know exists, you've already gathered intelligence on it, right? There's already been a CIA mission to go get and gather intelligence on this one weapon, and you still haven't figured out how to disarm her. Because you
Mm.
talk about this one weapon, but it's actually a freaking superpower. Literally. It's like Superman fighting a common man.
Yeah.
Until you control your own urges, you will never win.
Mm.
You will never win. You will never win. Especially your urges with a woman you know is hot. Because it's easy to turn down an ugly girl.
You shouldn't be hitting them ugly girls anyway. But we will go to the
Nah, you
next.
should.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got another question here. In your current, and this is if you could talk about the last one, I'm assuming, in your current relationship, who takes the most financial responsibility and why, and who leads your household?
I always have. I've actually never been with a woman that's made anywhere close to what I make.
Yeah.
I always have. And I always feel the need to take the leadership because of the lack of logic.
Mm.
I mean, you hand over a checkbook to a woman, y'all will be broke in like 2 months. There's a serious lack of financial education, preparation for the future,
Facts.
understanding where to allocate funds, the need to invest. Everything for them is like JG Wentworth. It's my money and I want it now. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything is, that sporadic thing that they feel to spend, and they don't understand that you're trying to create what they like, right?
Right.
Which is that nice structure, that stability. But they want you to work overtime, hell and high water, flip over backwards to figure that shit out while she's always able to spend your money as well.
Mm.
It's like a total lack of reason.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I seriously wonder, like some women are born into this world and logic and reason just miss them. They
It's
they don't
just
understand. They don't understand that your efforts and your hard work is what earns this currency, and you have to make it work for you so that you could be comfortable. No. I want a Louis Vuitton bag because yeah, you don't care about my happiness if you don't buy it for me.
and their rent could be behind, light bill could be behind, all that other stuff.
Listen, And they'll still be up in the club. They'll
up
still
in the
be up in the
club
club. Yeah, they'll still be doing the most. And you're just like, wow, how is your life a complete disaster?
or
And
take me on this vacation and this vacation and do all these things, but everything else is behind in your household. But they'll still want a guy to spend the money on these accessories and fun and entertainment and things to make them pretty, but everything else is jacked up in the house. I know that. I just wanted to, add that based off what you just said. You know what I
that
mean?
part. Yeah, but listen, the worst of the worst is the modern woman, to add to what you just said, the
Mm-hmm.
one that actually works, who literally looks at her money like it's hers. It's her money.
Yeah.
You're not you leave me and my money alone.
Yeah.
And you still have to be a traditional man.
Yeah. And pay everything. Yeah.
That is the most psycho babble BS that men need to stop falling for.
Mm.
You need to stop, because women have to sacrifice as much as men. Not have to be in the exact same manner,
Nah.
but but yeah, it doesn't have to be in the exact same manner. But you have to see sacrifice from her. Because if you're the only person making sacrifices, let's just say, for example, you both make $50,000 a year, but her money is her money, and your money is the one that's allocated to all the bills and expenses.
Nah.
You're gonna be looking like one more fool when she break up with you,
Facts.
and she practices that hypergamy that is
Yeah.
very real. You're gonna be looking like one more fool. You're gonna be sleeping on my couch with a bottle of Jack Daniels, singing to me all your heartbreak shit.
Mm.
hmm
I'm gonna
Which
read
I've
this one.
done.
I'm gonna read this thing I was telling you about earlier. This young stud is seeking advice.
Yeah.
I would pull it up on the screen, but I'm gonna read it and get your take on it here. So she said, "Anonymous, please." She asked him to remain anonymous.
Okay.
I'm a 19-year-old stud dating a 46-year-old divorced woman.
What the fuck? Oh, sorry. Go
She
ahead.
got she got 3 kids, one boy, 23 years old, and 2 girls, 20 and 25. The problem is these kids don't respect me. The problem is these kids don't respect me as their father, especially the youngest one who is 20. I really love my kids, but how do I make them respect me? They think I'm only after her money, but she's the only woman that I really connect with on a spiritual and emotional level. I moved out from my foster home last year and have been staying alone for a while. Now I'm thinking of moving in with her next month, but I'm scared of my stepkids. I've tried reading a lot of parenting books and still not getting any answers. How do I make these kids love me?
First of all, I could understand where a lot of her sympathization comes from.
Right, right.
When you come from a foster home, you're probably looking for love a lot more than the average person.
Right.
So you can get involved with somebody, especially a lot older than you, and over time you don't even realize how they're molding you. And honestly, run. That is not a situation you want to be in. All of your kids that you're trying to make love you are older than you. Number one, that is weird,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're never gonna gain control of that household. Stop it. And
No.
at 19 years old, I doubt that you have very much going on.
Right.
So you anonymous stud, take it from me. Pack your duffel bag, because that's probably all you got is a duffel bag, and get the hell out of Dodge. I'm dead
But
ass.
you heard what she said though, like they think I'm using her for her money or whatever,
Please,
you know.
please. Believe it or not, even though she's 19 year old and doesn't really have much to offer at the moment, it's the fact that she has her whole life ahead of her where she's actually ahead. She
Right.
can make anything out of herself right now.
Mm.
Anything. She's dating a woman that, you guys like to say hit the wall. Like, she hit the wall a long time ago. She hit the wall a long time ago.
Yeah.
And you find pleasure in this woman because you're mentally connecting with her. Get out
On a
of here,
spirit, yeah,
bro.
on a
On
spiritual
a
level.
spiritual level, bro. Get
Yeah.
out of here. That's a Jezebel. You mean she's
Mhm.
taking over your spirit? Because what does she find in you attractive? Like, it's just as weird on her end. Like, you're younger than her children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You're probably her
Absolutely.
only option. And you're young and she's doing the whole cougar thing. I wouldn't doubt it that woman isn't even really attractive. What money? Please. What money?
I always say this, and I think I covered this on a reaction video, and I've said this on several other videos. When it comes to older women, especially women in their 40s, and I know this woman, obviously, like as you said, she likes the D because she done had 3 kids. So a woman in her 40s, obviously, what you said, she's hit the wall. But men in their 40s typically don't want to date women in their 40s. It's just how it is. We typically go for,
I don't.
yeah. we typically go we typically go for women that are much younger. And in the case of women who do date, if they do, a woman in her 40s is either going to date a guy that's 10 to 15 years older or 10 to 15 years younger. She's not really going to date a guy or be able to get a guy for the most part. The older guy is probably willing to spend some money on her. If she has a younger man, that younger man is not really going to be spending money on her. She's going to be spending money on this younger man, because this guy, he shouldn't be dating a woman that much older anyway. And if he's spending money on her, something's definitely wrong there. In the case of this 45-year-old woman, I could see her, if this is true for this anonymous thing, I could see her spending money on this 19-year-old.
Yeah, but
You
she's
know,
probably impressed by Jordans.
right? Yeah,
Like, she's 19. Like,
yeah,
she's easy to
19.
keep happy. She doesn't even understand the beginning of what real stability looks like.
Yeah,
I'm serious. You could buy her outfit and some Jordans. She's probably happy. I mean, I get what you're saying, but
yeah.
here's the thing, right? Where I'm gonna take opportunity to ask you as a man. The one
Mm-hmm.
thing I never understood about men, right? Because I attract women in their 20s all the time. So my thing is, why on earth would I date somebody my own age, right?
Right.
When women my own age or slightly older, whatever, usually, bro, they look like trash, They're overweight. Listen, you can't have me on your show and not think that I'm gonna be honest. I keep it real.
Yeah,
I keep it
continue.
real.
Continue. Yeah.
They look like straight trash, bro. They don't take care of themselves. They don't care about working out. They present to you something that looks like garbage on a plate. And
Yeah.
so I understand why you want younger, because if you're a man and your primary attraction when you meet a woman is her looks, right? Her youth and her vitality is like, she's beautiful. You want to mate with her, however the biological thing even operates. I don't
Right.
understand it very well, but this is completely normal. Is completely normal for you. And then by dating a man that's completely established already, she gets to skip all the, you know, her hypergamy is in overdrive at that
Yeah.
point.
It's
Like,
like a cheat code.
she skipped all the college guys eating ramen noodles, the guy driving the hoopty, the this and that. Again, why? Because her youth and her beauty, her looks, got her the established man already.
Right.
Because this is essentially what she wants. You know what I'm saying? That's what she wants. And a lot of times, though, when you're an older man, I still would be very careful, and I would still vet her because of what men talk about, where you know she's probably letting Chad and Tyrone still hit.
Of course.
Somebody she's actually attracted to. That's
Mhm.
a youthful guy. Because even me, I could say a guy that's young, he's chiseled face, whatever. You know, I could say, wow, he's attractive. You know what I'm saying? What would stop her from practicing her own desire
Right.
for a good looking man? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would, however, if I was a man, definitely go for a younger woman for sure.
Yeah.
Why? If you can command that, is what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't you? But back to my question, I get women in their 20s all the time, right?
Right.
And what I don't understand about men is how in the world do y'all deal with them? Because I don't understand how. Let's say take a man my age. I'm 41 years old.
Right.
He might meet a girl that's 26, 25, and honestly, mentally, they're never on my level. So how is it that y'all take these women, marry them, and make your wife, and she doesn't drive you crazy? And I'm just like, how do they do it?
Um.
I don't understand that. Is it all because she's younger, beautiful, whatever? She don't drive you insane? Like the thought processes that she has, the things that you have to deprogram her from, the speeding her up to the level you're on, like the inability to know how to cook and like certain things. You're just like, oh my god, am I really dating this girl because she's hot?
Yeah, that's the only reason why, because there's nothing really other than this woman providing her looks, which is what men are looking for in the first place. I've only in my 30s, I think dated maybe two women that were in their 20s, and they definitely are super. Well, the ones were, I think it was both around 25, 26. Um, very immature. Only thing really going for them is their looks.
Mm-hmm.
Can't cook. This is just my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Other guys can probably chime in and see all that, but the looks, the hot sex, basically this attractive woman, some guys are willing to overlook that at the end of the day, just because they have this eye candy, this hot young thing that they can deal with or whatever. And they'll just be like, whether they provide mentorship to her, hey, that's questionable, which is what you were kind of talking about earlier, but it is very important. But some young girls aren't even that smart to do that. They'll mess around with these dudes that really, because that's what she's attracted to, these younger guys a lot of times instead of older. But some young women are attracted to older guys at the end of the day. But as an older man, it's not, I don't think it would be something I would ever take seriously. Is a woman in her 20s. I could never really take her seriously. It couldn't really be anything other than just to have a good time with. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's about it. Because it's just even where I'm at now, 38. It's hard to find a woman in her 30s because there are women in there's women in their 40s that still think that they got it like that. Like they're in their 20s. They still think that you have to go through all this, all this conquering, getting this key, this magic key, this jewel, presenting all this stuff, and it's not even worth it. I think Kevin and I just reacted to a video about this woman that's 49 years old, and she's making it seem like all of this, like it needs to be this, and this, and he's like, he said it perfectly. He said dating a woman in her 40s should be a light-hearted experience. Very easygoing, stress-free, completely lighthearted, none of the BS. You at that age, there's no need for any of the games and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. But it just seems like the mindset. It's very rare to just come across a woman that has her head on her shoulders that you can have an intellectual. In my opinion, just for me, not everybody's and it's not for me being pretentious. Not everybody's an intellectual. I like to have deep intellectual conversations, and you can't
Correct.
even talk to some women in their late 30s and 40s like that anyway.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's my opinion on it. That
I
they're
go through
women
that.
in their 20s are very childish. Go
No,
ahead.
they aren't. But they
Yeah.
don't think they are. This
No,
is the thing.
they
They're
they know it all.
completely convinced. Right. They're convinced that everything that there is to learn in the universe, they know it.
They already
They
know it,
know it.
and they got
And they don't
experience.
need you to provide wisdom. And it's like, even if you offer leadership, it's like they don't want it. They don't want it. You're not gonna tell me what to do.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So you're gonna take your broken compass, the way you see the world, and guide. And some of these women, listen, the last girl I dated that was in her 20s, which was last year. I've
Hmm.
been single for a while now.
Okay.
And the last girl I dated, dude, holy crap. Like, all she ever talked about was pseudoscience, like BS, conspiracy theories. Wanted me to manifest my crystal. I don't believe in that, by the way. Right, but this is like all things, and I'm just like, okay, it's like really hard for me to gauge this girl's intelligence for real because this is all she ever talks about. Like she was heavily indoctrinated in New Age,
Yeah.
and I was trying to tell her like, listen, this stuff is it's not real. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, listen to me, man. I mean, if you would have heard this girl talk, I can't believe that she was really sexy, right?
Yeah.
She was a really sexy girl. So in my mind, I was devising a plan on how to get her away from that. And yes, bro.
Yeah.
Because I found myself like really liking her, but I also knew that she bought into somebody's dogma along the way,
Mm.
and somebody got a hold of her and told her, your chakra, your third eye, you're
Mm.
this, you're that, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me with this. She seriously thinks that people like me and you, right, that work, right? She said it to me. Mind you, she was 24 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
She said to me that we are mindless robots because yeah. And I was like, wow, this girl is gone with this stuff, man. She thinks she's a god, and like, I could go on, I'm telling you. But what helped me get out of that whole like little stupid idea I had to deprogram her mind and like really start to show her, life and this is what it really is. What really helped was the fact that she was very disrespectful. So it
Yeah.
never got that far.
Yeah.
I had to cut her off, bro. I cut her off on her birthday. No
Jeez.
F's given. No F's given.
Mm.
And this is what I'm saying. Like the 20s are into ridiculous things. They can't even begin to understand, right? If you're a man, it would bother me that you don't really appreciate the labor that I do.
Right.
You don't even know what I go through for you to be able to flick that light switch and the lights come on. You have no idea. You think water comes in the house like magic. Hey, look, I turned this faucet on and water. They don't understand that,
Mm-hmm.
this requires a structured individual that by the sweat of his forehead, he's eating. And he's allowing you to celebrate the fruits of his labors with him. And he wants your companionship and to be this peaceful person in his life
Mm.
and bring a helpmeet.
Right. Right.
Because a
Right.
man, I truly feel like a man shouldn't be alone. A man just way too much to not have a helpmeet. Way too much. You should be able to come home, and if you're a wine drinker, she pours you your wine. Here's your hot food. You know, let me let you get settled in before
Yeah.
I tell you anything that's pending that I have to talk to you about. Like this is incredibly hard for women to understand.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't. It's like they don't pay. I don't know if they feel like money is magic. I just don't understand like that mentality that they have. I don't, because something. When my alarm clock goes off in the morning, I have to get up and go to work
Mm.
because if I don't work, I don't get paid. And if I don't get paid, the bills don't get paid.
Right.
And ain't no such thing for me. Like, well, I don't feel like going to work. You better muster up the strength to go. I don't care what you did last night. You have to go.
Right.
Especially if you have children.
Mm.
Then they don't even appreciate like everything you do for them and the children. It's like you're a robot. They think like, this is your job. Like, but with no consideration whatsoever that you're a sentient being.
Yeah.
That something as simple as appreciation, a word or two of encouragement. For me, men are easy to understand, very easy to understand, and they require very little,
Mm.
very little. I love the way men know how to do this thing called compartmentalization. to men like you compartmentalize. Like
Yeah.
you take a problem, you store it away somewhere in your mind. Like this is how men, they revisit it when it's time to visit it again.
Hmm.
And women sometimes don't understand. Like when a man sits in silence, he's just appreciating the silence. He's not thinking about anything because he don't thought about a million things that day
Yep.
while he's at work slaying the dragon. Like you, listen, just put on his favorite football game, leave him alone, let him decompress, feed that man.
Yeah.
Literally, just be his best friend.
Right.
Just
Right. Right.
just show concern over him that you would show a puppy. Like these women, I have a dog too, and these women sometimes, they go to little dog, hi baby, how you doing? I love you. If you did that with your husband, my God, your world would be so different. Man, let me tell you something. An appreciated man would climb mountains for you. Mountains. Because he knows, man, I got a woman at home that cares about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this
Yeah.
is so hard because it's always about them.
Yeah.
You have to, this is the craziest thing too, make them happy. How do I make you happy? How? If you're not already happy, how does one make happiness? Because as far as I'm concerned, we've always been in the pursuit of it.
Yeah.
Happiness is, for me, it's always been like a pursuit. You could feel like elated one day, on cloud nine. Hold on a second. Hey G, can you pass me a Heine? Thank you. Like, when they say, the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you feel you have the totality of it, right? And you're just like, oh, I feel so happy. I have a woman I like. I'm attracted to her. I'm making good money at work. I got a nice house. I got a sports car. I got it.
Yeah.
And one of them shits, one of those things can go wrong, and then tomorrow you're not happy anymore. So what does that tell you? You gotta find that somewhere inside of you, man. You have to, by something greater than your relationship, something greater than money. I'm not even kidding, bro. Because for me, one of the best ways to be happy is to do something for a living that you like. That's one way
Absolutely.
where it doesn't feel like work to you. You're self-driven, self-motivated to do it. And
Absolutely.
you actually can't believe you're getting paid for it. It's like stealing candy from a baby. Like, oh man, when are these people going to figure out I actually like this?
That's the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah. Because if they know I like it, they might not pay me for it. You know what I'm saying? And men put so much of that missing piece into a woman. And I just don't think women are the prize that they claim to be. Do I think they're important? Yeah, because you have to have a nurturer. But very, very little women these days actually play a truly feminine role. And women don't understand. Here's the other one that I don't understand. I feel like women wield more power with femininity than trying to be masculine and
Yeah.
bump heads
Of
with you all the
course. Of
time. And
course.
no, you will use your strength, use your femininity, because it is going to work, because the masculine seeks out the feminine naturally.
Or they say
Naturally.
you get what is it? You get more bees with honey?
Exactly.
Is that how it
Exactly.
goes? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You get more bees with honey than vinegar or something like that, right? Yeah.
mm,
But that's true. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, being a lesbian and dating women, I really want guys out there to know. I know there's some hardcore MGTOW red pill guys that just, I don't care what you go through, lesbian. You know,
yeah, yeah.
you're not a man. You'll never understand. Yes, I know I'm not a man. I don't claim to be one. I don't want to be one. I'm very happy being a woman, but believe me, I go through the same perils and pitfalls and dating these beautiful feminine women that you date too. I do.
No, the
I
way you said
do.
these, you made sure you said dating these beautiful feminine women.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I go through it too, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, I feel like I need to start my own, I need to be a maverick in this whole YouTube thing with my like-minded women,
I
you
think your
know.
channel would explode if you did that. If you
Man,
really put it,
I
I think it
I
would
need
explode.
I need you as my new friend to to probably keep spitting that in my ear to make time to do that,
Yeah.
because I don't see nothing out there like it. You know, I want to keep women away from single moms, because I'm serious. You're stupider than the stupidest guy.
Damn.
I'm not even kidding. When she thought it was over for her, she still has you.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Facts.
You did a video one day. It was a long time ago. I think you said something about your sister, right? That you have a relative of yours that apparently fell into this whole
Yeah, my
yeah.
ex-wife, my ex-wife too. I did one on did I do one on that about my ex-wife? She fell into it and
Mm-mm.
I know she probably watching this too.
Oh,
My sister,
whoa!
I don't care.
Your ex-wife had a chick.
Yeah, so let's spill some I covered this years ago when I found out about it. But they both watch my channel. My who I don't call her my sister anymore. I mean, she was my sister. And my ex-wife, uh and I'll cover this on another video too about divorce and things like that. But yeah, so I did a video on some swingers. I did a part 1 and a part 2 because I gathered more information. Um, there's some swingers. Obviously, there's swingers in every town. But anyway, my ex-wife got involved with these swing, and I guess she always wanted to pursue that. As we were getting a divorce, she told me that she was actually sapiosexual. She sees the heart. She doesn't see you know, gender. She's sapiosexual. So she's fond of the mind. So yeah, on the video, which I'll probably link for you guys to check it out. Both of the videos about swinging, how the story went down, how I found out. And me and her weren't together. We'd already divorced, but I found this out that the guy who's a well-known figure in this town, him and his wife had a threesome with her or whatever. And these are much older people too, by the way. Um, and the whole story with my ex-wife is just crazy. I wrote a book about, the first year of the divorce, us being separated, and she's just done like a bunch of stuff. I haven't written part 2 of it, but it's just all types of stuff I found out. Anyway, yeah, she ended up going into the whole swinging and dealing with women and all this stuff like that. To my knowledge, from what I hear, this woman, formerly known as my sister, she um, divorced her husband and went and got with her best friend's sister, who's a stud. So she moved in with the best friend's sister, who's a stud, and she moved her, across a few states over to go live with her, and said they've always wanted to be together. So she basically just midlife, according to her, and maybe she might have been doing it on the low. She probably even slept with my ex-wife too, because they were pretty close. Um, she just turned gay in her 40s. After her kids were grown.
She
Yeah.
didn't turn gay. She didn't turn gay. She already had those tendencies.
Yeah, yeah. Same thing with my ex-wife. I say she already had those tendencies, but basically ended up doing that. And it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? For me, my life has always been a movie. So when I found out about it, I'm like, man, the dude actually jumped in my inbox and was like, yeah, we slept with your wife or whatever. So yeah, it's comedy, man. But
Mm.
yeah, that's
You
basically
know, that's another topic that has to get talked about, because a lot of men don't realize that they're married to women that actually really like women.
yeah,
They're actually really
and vice
more
versa.
into yeah.
Yeah. Because what he said, how it went down, and like I said, I can't
Approach
remember the
me
exact.
sometimes. Hold on a
I can't.
second. Oh, I my headphones died, but you can still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Yeah. So I've had a lot of married women in my life, approach me, and I seriously get disgusted by them,
yeah,
because like their husbands have no clue what you're up to.
right.
Like, imagine if I would say yes. Like, you literally would come over my house, cheat on your man, and think nothing of it, nothing, because you're fulfilling your lesbianic fantasy. Because a lot of women tell me all the time, like, they don't get off by penetration. Like, you won't believe the astounding number of women that will say that when they have penetration with a man, it doesn't please them.
I covered this topic on a few lives, like old school JR back in like 2017, 2018. And I had some women in the chat talking about that, saying that they never had an orgasm through penetration.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been that way. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, but I've been told that by a few women that have said that they just can't. It just doesn't happen that way, which I can understand when you say that. And I was surprised when all these women were saying it in the chat that time
Yeah.
when we were talking about this. But
Yeah.
yeah,
A lot. No, in real life, like my heterosexual friends, women, they tell me that a lot. I mean, it's some of them that do that they do get pleasure of it, but
hmm
it's a small number. Like most of them, it's why they put a lot of emphasis on like the foreplay and this and that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then when they get a woman's touch, they just, I don't know. It's like they climax. You know what
But
I mean?
and to piggyback off what you're saying, the orgasm just in a I don't want to say normal, but just in a male female sexual intercourse, a woman's orgasm is based upon not really how good he is, but how emotionally invested and attracted she is to him in that moment. In terms of that, like, it not attracted, but when I say attracted, I mean mentally.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
she could not even really be physically attracted to this guy, and he could be a poor performer, sexually, but just the fact that mentally he has her, that her orgasm is going to be
right.
based upon that mental
She
stimulation or that attachment that she has to him.
she's
You know what I'm
she's gonna
saying?
think he's good in bed
Yeah,
when in
just based on that.
reality he might not be.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
like
but that whole emotional mental is there, right?
just like a 12-inch doesn't equal pleasure. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I mean. So it's the same thing.
Most women I know would run from that.
Yeah, I'm just saying the fact that we in our society we like to say or equate a Long Johnson to equal pleasure to a woman, and it couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
right,
but we
right.
got
But
a question. Go ahead.
uh-huh.
Go ahead. You was about to say finish what you're saying?
No, I was saying that's another topic maybe one day, in another interview to cover that. Like,
Right.
how is it that how is it that a lesbian can steal your woman?
Right.
It happens every day.
For sure. Absolutely. I have no.
And you think, but but I'm a man. Like I take care of her. I do this. I do that. How could she possibly want this? And men, mentally get disrespectful to that woman.
Yeah.
To them, it's like, how you want this fake guy and I'm a real guy? It really destroys their ego.
hmm
The first time I ever saw that was when I was in college. When
Mm.
this really beautiful white girl, you know, like she hurt this dude, right? And we were in the cafe, and he was trying to say some slick shit to me, and I hit him where it hurt. Cause he's trying to. No, I'm serious. You can't stand the heat. Get out the kitchen.
Yeah.
Cause I know your girl left you for a girl, bro. And let me tell you something. I felt so bad because he couldn't even hold back the tears when I said that.
Mm.
A man.
Bruh.
I felt like shit when I said that to him. Yeah, but he
Yo.
came for me. He came for me, and he didn't know what I knew about him.
Right.
Because the lesbian community is really small.
Yeah.
We know. We know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But we got another
Yeah,
question for you, and I think we're gonna go ahead and close it out after this, Grace. So
yeah,
I
no
think you
problem.
I think you might have answered this, but let's go ahead and put it here. What do you think about women that hold their womb hostage to focus on a job? And in your opinion, what is the use of a woman if she can't give birth and bring happiness into a home? I'm assuming he's just talking about, you know,
That's a
that
loaded question.
yeah.
Okay, let me start with the first part of this question. What do you think about women that hold their womb hostage? Well, in a way, I feel like I feel like a woman should hold her womb hostage. She shouldn't just present that to every guy. You know, obviously, if she's protecting herself with birth control and still wants to, be part of the sexual revolution and have guilt-free sex, I don't think that just because you're dating her and she's the person that she's sleeping with you, that you should be honored with, being the father of her child. I mean, if you're not married to her.
So
So
let's say they are married though, and I'm assuming I can only assume this is where he's going with it, because he's saying, and in your opinion, what is the use of a woman if she can't give birth and bring happiness into a home? I'm assuming you're saying married, or I'm assuming that's what he's inferring. I'm assuming.
okay, so let's assume that, right? Because I can kind of gather that too by his question, the way
Right.
he was laid out. If you're married and you know that you want a family as a man, you want her to bring forth your children, and she doesn't want that because she wants to be a career woman, you're not compatible. There's no convincing in the world. She's too masculine. She wants to be like what you want to be. Y'all gonna be like two competitors in the house. You know, she's gonna have kids when she gets good and damn ready to. Like, not when you want. And honestly, I would suspect that she's probably not going to, because the biological clock that women have is real.
Yeah.
She's gonna get to a certain age where it's no longer healthy for her to have children without high risk of like Down syndrome and all this other stuff that takes place, once she starts getting in her 30s.
Right.
And if she's competing with men in the workforce, that's kind of like when she starts seeing the pinnacle of her success as well.
Yeah.
So she's gonna think about that. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna think about that, and women like this usually enjoy their freedoms from men. Like,
And
this would be a type of woman that I would avoid.
and my thing is, I think, and like I said, the context based off that question is a little weird, but I think that should have been discussed before
Way
you got
before,
married,
yeah,
or before you
way
moved
before
in.
you even invested feelings.
Yeah. And if she decides to change her mind afterwards, then yeah, that's a little,
Yeah.
you know,
I, I
messed
don't
up.
I don't see myself at this point in my life getting stuck in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm the other way around. I don't want kids.
Yeah.
So if you want kids and I don't want them, it's a problem.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's the easy one, really. You dug your own grave on that one.
Got you.
Mhm.
So we're gonna so with all in all, this obviously this has been very informative,
Mhm.
especially for people who have no knowledge. And I know obviously whenever you create your channel, or not create your channel, should you decide to
Expand.
expand
Yeah.
your channel, then definitely you be talking on these topics for those who are inquisitive, and from a red pill perspective of coming from you. It'd definitely be interesting. But any other advice you would give out to men or other women in a similar situation as yourself in terms of moving forward? I know you covered a few things on what to be on the lookout for, but just approaching just dating in general, just like what is it? How would you approach it now if you were to go back and talk to yourself in your late teens, early 20s? What would you tell yourself?
Best approach ever on planet Earth is being yourself. The tried and true will never fail you. Because if she don't like you being yourself, stop trying to impress anybody.
Right.
Just stop. Because you can't keep that up forever.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Don't lead with your wallet, because that's what it'll always be about. If
Yeah.
you're a man, don't do that. Don't open up the purse strings, because now you're gonna create that Frankenstein monster.
Mm.
That's the other thing. Make her show you that it's about you
Yeah.
through her desire to want to spend time with you. Like I said, her desire to get to know you as a person. But in that has to come the control of the sexual urges that we talked about. Because a lot of men feel like if a woman is not sleeping with him by the third date, oh, I threw her in the garbage. Well, she should. Because why are you expecting that when your objective is to not be manipulated, not be whipped by the peace sleeve, and you're pushing for that?
Right.
When you claim later you want a good woman, no, you don't. You want to get her in the bed a little too fast, girl. Because let's talk about the third day, right? Let's just say that every week that you met her, you've been on a date. So you know her for 3 weeks. You know her. Let let's let's say that for all the people in the back. You know her for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If she's a lady, that's not happening, girl. And if you dump her after that, I don't see how she's losing. I really don't. And that's another mentality that I would never expect to know somebody under a calendar month to give me the best thing they have to offer me, that you're after,
Mhm.
because if she has any type of respect for herself, I'm dead ass. Like, if I dated men, you are delusional if you think you're gonna get me in bed in 3 weeks. No, sir. And I don't mean, I don't feel some sort of attraction to you. I'm just practicing, like self-control, because I know that, commitment, sacrifice from a man, him revealing his true intentions, it's going to take a little bit longer than 3 weeks. Now, something like, let's say, 6 months, that's ridiculous too. There's too short, and there's also too much time. No, listen, man, I would never expect a girl to sleep with me in 3 weeks.
Right.
Never. I would never even, if it happened, okay. It's not,
Right.
but there's no pressure, and there's no threatening that, I'm gonna dump you. Like, if you don't, first of all, you take an average girl out to an average dinner, right? Where y'all went? Probably Longhorn or something, or some little local town restaurant. You might have spent $100. Seriously, you're putting value on her of $300, 3 dates. I would send you packing too. I'd be like,
Yeah.
get out of here. And then I'll gladly give you $300 to leave me alone.
Yeah. I think that third, fourth date, that time frame around there, like if you can kind of tell if somebody's really into you, like that third date can kind of determine how it's going to go into that fourth. If she's really like into me at that point, if we got open communication, at that point, obviously she respects my time. I respect her time. She's showing genuine interest. Then yeah, I could see going into that month time frame. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All those expensive dates, though, no, you have to earn that, in my opinion. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I wouldn't
You're
take
yeah,
I wouldn't take a girl out on an expensive date,
nah,
and I haven't really broken into the first stage of your mind.
right,
Like, what do you even think, like, what are you looking for here, and all this other stuff. And again, that goes to say with what I told you about trying to impress her.
right,
Like, no, I wouldn't try to do that. Just be yourself. You will connect with the right person.
absolutely,
That's how I honestly guide. There's no secret. That really is what I do. I'm like, if I don't have sex for like 6 months, let's say, I don't care, because I'm a very busy woman.
yeah,
I like to make money. I'm just like a man when it comes to that. I focus on what's important to me. And I can have sex tomorrow if I want to. It's just a matter of, do I want to be bothered with this person? I said this to you before, right?
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna need you to trust and believe that.
yeah,
I have to want to too, and,
right,
and and the fact that I'm a woman, helps me as well, because I'm not driven by those hormones that men have to have sex, 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 sex. I'm not. For me, if you don't turn me on mentally, if you don't tap into me emotionally,
right,
that whole Discovery Channel dance ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. And I put those provisions even on the women that date.
Right.
And that's not saying I haven't slept with a woman before, like lightning speed. And
Right.
I have. But those things sort of like they were happenstance.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were not, you know, this wasn't what I was planning on. But
Yeah.
seriously, like for me, you're kind of loserish if like this is like the plan you've had since you woke up this morning at 7 a.m. You know, when I take this girl out, you know, and I do everything right in order to get her in the bed, and I'm gonna do this. Bro, stop, stop. That to me is just not attractive. Like you gotta let it just happen. And
Yeah.
believe me, for me, it happens. It
Mm.
happens. But then sometimes a woman is just that intriguing that even me I will pump the brakes on myself. I'll be like, oh, I want to get to know her some more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the difference between there is the fine line between me being a woman and you being a man.
Right.
You
And
know?
I'm gonna finish it off with this. I think being a woman, I think women will feel more secure with a woman, and you can kind of disarm a woman. You know, in my opinion, just thinking from being a woman. A woman is able to disarm a woman more so, and a woman feels more secure with another woman just in general. Which is another. I feel like that's another benefit to it, but I digress on that. Um,
Okay, I know this live has been going on for a long time,
yeah.
but I know you got to cut it short
Go
soon.
ahead.
But
Go ahead.
I'll leave you on this thought, right?
Yeah.
On that, false.
False. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I stated earlier, right, where I was like, man, I wish I did like men because I would be married right now.
Yeah.
I probably have 2, 3 kids, you know, being a perfect housewife and all that other stuff. No, believe it or not, I actually feel more secure when I'm around men. They don't lie to me the way women do.
I'm just talking about
They
in
don't,
terms of that, like being alone. Maybe I'm just talking about with the sexual energy, maybe, or you being alone with a
oh,
woman
okay,
as opposed to,
strictly sexual, yeah,
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 that's what I mean.
okay, yeah,
But
yeah,
I get what you're saying in terms of that. You know, you're more comfortable around men in terms of trustworthy, and the cattiness doesn't
yeah.
exist and all that
All the
shit.
stuff we talked about earlier with
Yeah,
honor, and, you know, all
yeah,
the stuff that the values and principles that men operate on, I
absolutely.
resonate more with that. But
Right,
if you're talking about okay, just sexual, yeah, absolutely. A woman, you will not believe how slutty a woman will be with another woman versus, yeah, yeah. I've had that with women.
right.
Trust, they will do things. They will do things with me that you probably got a bed. Dead ass. Dead ass. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but that we'll reserve that for another one.
Yeah.
But Grace, any last words? I know we
No, man, just I had fun. Thank you for having me
oh yeah.
on. This is really cool. You know, I'm sure we'll talk some more about my expansion of my channel. You know,
Yes.
and whoever's watching, if you really want to hear somebody like me talk real to you, like you like an unfiltered person that just tells the truth, then definitely tune in soon because I'm giving it a hard thought to expand on that because there's no channel like something I know that I would bring. And
Right.
and and my mentality on things, like I'm telling you, I'm super logical. I see the pitfalls. I see them. I see them. I got my X-ray glasses on. So if you don't mind, I wouldn't be like Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude is like, he's 100 miles per hour every time. Like I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
man, you really be saying like anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I would too, but I'm a little bit more kind with it.
Mm.
I'm a little bit kinder, and because I'm a woman, but I would tell you the truth,
Mm-hmm.
what you want to hear. I even tell you if I think your girl is gay, you know, if she'll do something with me, I'll tell you. You know, if they do
Yeah.
this, they do it all
Yeah.
the time, all kinds of stuff, everything. Money, women, jobs, cars, whatever you want to talk
Yeah.
about. Like I have my own take on it. You know. But anyways, I appreciate you having me on. Like I said, I had a lot of fun. You
Absolutely.
know, definitely we have to link up for sure.
Absolutely. And
I can
I
I can have
have
a beer
great
with you.
say again. Have a beer.
I can have a beer with
Oh
you.
yeah, absolutely. God willing, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I've pinned Grace's channel in the chat. It's also going to be in the description for you guys watching the restream. I'm gonna pin it in there as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to her channel right now. Look out for that content as well. Anything else you want to plug while you're on here?
No, just blessings for everybody. I hope you all stay safe, really and truly. Just, keep your wits about you. Get smart. That's it. Thank you for the time.
All righty, peace. You can stick around too, Grace. Peace be
Okay.
upon you all. The mercy and blessings of the Almighty, and I will catch you guys on the next one. We're out of here.